What's up, guys? Okay. Hey guys, we have spotlighted horses kind of in the past, told you a little bit about them, showed you some videos of them, but we're going to do a whole series here on YouTube about all the individual horses that we've got here. The BioMane horses, some of the outside horses that we train, some of our rope horses, the show horses, pretty much everything that we've got. Today's episode, we're going to spotlight Pongo. You guys have seen Pongo probably a lot, but you don't know everything about him. So I'm going to try and do my best to tell you everything I know about him, what we like about him, what I don't like about him. He is a 7-year-old gelding out of, his papered name is High Shine Nugget. He is out of a stud, quarter horse stud, Peppy with a twist. Should say he's by a quarter horse stud, Peppy with a twist, out of an Appy mare, Freckled High Sign, I believe is her name. I saw him, he was down in Scottsdale. A guy that I know actually posted him on Facebook, I believe it was, and I've always wanted a leopard Appy. Leopard meaning spotted, and he posted him on Facebook, called him up to see if he was still for sale, price, all that. I actually called a friend of mine that lives in Scottsdale. I was living in Salt Lake at the time, unable to cruise down to get him. Called a friend of mine in Scottsdale, asked her if she'd go look at this horse for me, and asked what horse it was, and I didn't tell her. She's a quarter horse show horse lady that I know if I would have told her it was an Appy, she would have told me to pack sand. So she goes over there, calls up and says, no way, no how. And I said, just do it. I wanted an Appy for BioMane. I wanted to prove that we could grow hair on an Appaloosa, and I wanted him to be leopard or spotted like he is, so there's no doubt that he is an Appaloosa. And anyways, long story short, got him bought, wired the money down, found a ride for him to, I believe it was Vegas. A kid that was working for me cruised down, he was living in St. George, cruised down to Vegas, got the horse, brought him back to the house. And I bought him as a 3-year-old, a coming 3-year-old, I believe. And his sole purpose at the time that I purchased him was to grow hair. Text code word SPOTS to the number in the description for your chance to win a BioMane fly mask. Okay, back to the video. He was lightly started, didn't have much feel. I mean, you could ride around, lope circles and that, but he was, you know, a 3-year-old that was a little behind in his training. And started riding him because he was here. So instead of just having him sit in a pen and try and grow hair, we figured we might as well be riding him. And started riding him. He got to where he had a lot of feel and wanted to be good. He was a stud at the time. Started roping on him, lead steer, slow cattle, dummy, all that, just how we start these young rope horses. And he just kept getting cooler and cooler and cooler and funner to ride. And so here we are now. This is a 7-year-old year. We've rodeoed on him, we've hauled him, we've shown him in the rope horse futurity shows. Last year was his last year to be able to do that as a 6-year-old. And he's just a pretty cool dude. We did geld him, we got him collected, got a bunch of straws, enough that I was convinced we could geld him. And that poses the question everybody asks, well, why'd you geld him if he was a good stud? Like, I could put him in a stock trailer, no slants, with a group of mares, 4 or 5 mares in there, and we had no issues. I'd tie him next to mares. He just was a good-minded stud. But when we'd rope on him, he's kind of an intense horse. He'd get amped up, not necessarily like hot, but just pretty intense. And so where we collected so much out of him, enough to do whatever we wanted to do for the years to come, I decided to geld him to see if that would kind of eliminate that. And he has gotten better. I'm glad I did it. And also it just, you know, in the future, if we ever do sell him, it's, at least in my opinion, easier to sell a gelding than it is to sell a stud. So he served his purpose as a stud for us. We've got those straws that we can use for years to come, and I think he's happier as a gelding. We head on him, we heel on him, and that's about it. He's one that stops pretty dang hard. You can get a lot of slide out of him. He's strong on the end of the rope. got the run. I would say, you know, he is borderline an open caliber heel horse, and probably not on the head side, but he's just dang near as good on the head side. I just don't feel like he's got the run that some of those higher end open caliber head horses have, but I don't rope in a ton of opens anyways, so he works out great for what I do, and for anyone else that's ridden him. Gotten along really well with him. He's been, I don't know if we pro rodeoed on him. I think he's just been to the amateur rodeos, open rodeos, and then anything from World Series to just regular open ropings and backyard jackpots. He's fun to have. He's loud, color wise. He gets noticed about everywhere he goes. I've seen some Appies with some pretty good manes and tails. He's, at least from what I've seen and everywhere we've gone, he's got the longest forelock, the longest mane, and the longest tail out of any Appy that I've seen. Not to say there's not Appies out there that grow hair, but from what I've seen, he's the longest one. If you got one that's got longer hair, we want to see him. But yeah, he's fun. Everything about him's cool. He's good-minded. You can see right here, he's good-minded, good to shoe, good to do everything on. He's an intense horse when you're using him, and that has its perks, that has its faults too. But for the most part, he's a pretty cool dude. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, so don't hesitate to comment on our videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.